Good morning. Welcome to the Health and Wellness Program. You're listening to Maree Gifkins. So I'll get the little bits underway. I have two clinics, one in Hastings and one in Waipakarau. So in Hastings, I'm there Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and in Waipakarau, Mondays and Fridays. So I'm a busy little girl and buzzing around all sorts of places and trying to keep up with all what's going on in the world. And well, I think just refer to everything as stress city. Everything seems to be stress. And nobody seems to be exempt from it. We're all feeling it. I was talking to a lady this morning, actually, and we were talking about even, I was supposed to be on holiday in a couple of weeks and going to see the kids in Sydney and the grandchildren. I haven't seen them for a year and 9 months. And, I was getting all excited, and then what happens? Delta variant came along and wiped that away from me. So, there's a lot of people coming into my clinic and, Maree, I'm sad. I need you to make me happy and cheer me up. And you just look at them, what's wrong? What's happened? And their daughter couldn't come over from Melbourne because it all went into lockdown, and she was due the next day, and she'd had her COVID test and she was all clear to go, and then overnight it's all shut down. And so we sort of hugged and I said, let's cry on each other's shoulders because I'm sad too, and we're missing out on all those wonderful things, and then we sort of have to pick ourselves up again and then be grateful that we live in good old New Zealand and good old Hawke's Bay, and we are very lucky. We've got our businesses going, we've got our economy going, we're up and above, a lot of other countries. We've only been in lockdown, we can count them on one hand. So we're very fortunate. You get some countries, there's a few countries where people have had to say goodbye to their loved ones and they've been taken to hospital and you're not allowed to go and see them, and they've died alone, and you're not even allowed the body back. It's mass graves and government disposes of the body, and you haven't even got a body to mourn. And I just can't even imagine what that would be like for so many countries, so many people, so much stress where they've lost so much and not even been able to say goodbyes to their family or their loved ones. And then what's their future like? And their businesses might have just gone under and no jobs, and it just goes on. And then you're like, wow, we've got, my family are fine in Sydney. They're all healthy. They're well. We've got a lot to be grateful for. We're in the middle of winter. We are grateful. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing with nature. And it won't be long, and the spring will come along, and the bulbs will be up, and the birds will be chirping, and and life just moves on. It goes into another cycle, doesn't it? And so, but there's so much bombardment going on. You watch the news, and it seems like there's a natural disaster every day we turn on the TV, whether it's at the moment flooding, and what was it last week? There was fires and the heat and people dying from the extreme heat, and it seems like every day there seems to be something going on, and we're just bombarded into our psyche, and the disasters and the human destruction, even the humans fighting humans, and it just goes on and on and on. And just because we're in New Zealand and we are open, it doesn't mean we're not feeling what's happening. We still feel these undercurrents. I refer to them as the undercurrents. And it's the same when you're in a family and mum and dad are fighting and the kids are little and they don't really know what's going on. They don't understand the conversations and the words that mum and dad are saying, but they feel the undercurrents. They feel the tension, and we as adults, we get a little bit more thick-skinned. I think that's the term we'd call it, wouldn't it? We get a bit thick-skinned and we don't want to know about emotions or feelings, or that we're all connected and God and all those sort of, what do they call them, ooky spooky things, that's the unseen. And we try to sometimes put on a thick skin and not feel those things, but I tell you what, everyone's feeling it at the moment. We can't help but feel them. And as much as we're trying to, put on a brave face or put up that thick skin or do another layer, it is impacting us. So today I want to talk about that. So enough of that all bad stuff. What can we do to help ourselves? What can we do to put a smile on our face? We need to be able to have places, safe places even, to go and to replenish ourselves. Whether it's going to a spa, having a nice massage, or having your hair done, or having your feet done, or it doesn't matter where it is, it's just somewhere safe and somewhere to go that gives you a few moments where you can stop and you can breathe and you can relax your shoulders and go, it is going to be okay. We're going to come out of all of this, and it might be a different world, but we're going to come out of this and we're going to be okay. And life will move on again. It's like winter, we think, oh, it's the end of the world. And then all of a sudden the weather starts to change and we start to get spring and the new leaves start to come out and the flowers start to come out and the bees start to come around. And then we've got blueberries on our tree. And then we know we're going to be able to eat them. And it'll give us beautiful energy and all the nutrients that we need. I've got about 5 blueberry plants at home. So I'm all excited, for spring again with all the flowers and watching that process go and happen and then being able to eat them. So, things change and nothing's, I'll quite often say to people, nothing stays the same. Everything changes. And so what else can we do? You mightn't have too much money. You can go for a walk and you can go somewhere where there's maybe the river and you can see the fantails flittering around, and as you're walking through an area, the insects come up and the fantails are coming around near you. They're trying to eat the insects, but it's just a lovely feeling with all the birds around. You might want to feed the ducks, and watch the ducks. It's the simple things in life. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be at the best place. We can sit down and put some beautiful music on that we enjoy, even if it's the Rolling Stones or the Beatles or whatever it is, anything that gives you that joy and that peace and your brain can relax. If you've got a bath, you can have an Epsom salt bath. You can have a Himalayan salt bath, the pink salt. The Himalayan salt, that's very good in the baths. You can have like a cup to 3 cups of salt in the bath. It's excellent for you. It has all the minerals in there. The minerals will go in and the toxins come out. You pull the plug and away it goes. Even half an hour in a bath is ideal. You can chuck a little bit of ginger in, 3 teaspoons of ginger. That'll be good for the circulation and the smell, comes up. You can put some nice smellies in the bath, some candles. You can have a foot soak even. Put some Epsom salts in that's high in magnesium, or the Himalayan salt again. About 3 tablespoons of each is very good in a foot bath for half an hour. It gives you a little top up, and then you can chuck the water out onto the garden, and the garden will appreciate it as well. And you can take some magnesium. It's a mineral that everybody needs, where most people are deficient in magnesium. It's a nice simple mineral to take. It's what we call the happy pill, and I'm not talking about depression or anything. It puts that spark when you take magnesium or you soak in Epsom salts. It puts that spark back in your eyes. Oh, life's not so bad. It puts a spark in your muscles so that you can go for a walk or you can do some gardening. Or do the things that you want to do. So magnesium is involved in so many areas of our body, cramp and the muscles and the fuel for the muscles and just life. Even the bowels work really well with magnesium. Your bowels are able to move because again, it's a muscle, it's a contraction. You can take B complex, which has all the B's in there, which helps the mind and helps you able to think and calms you down, and it's going to be okay. Don't rely on your adrenal glands to get you through this. Because if you do, your adrenal glands will be absolutely knackered at the end of this. And then they're not going to function very well, and you're definitely not going to handle stress very well. and you can just flare off the handle if your adrenals aren't able to cope very well. They haven't got all the right things that they need. If you're already starting to do that, maybe you need a B5 pantothenic acid. So that's one of those B complexes, one of the Bs, and it's a B5, and its chemical sort of name is, it's not a chemical, but its other name is pantothenic acid. And so this supports the adrenal glands. It also helps with the digestion, breaking down the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. It also helps with joints. If your joints are a little bit stiff in the morning and you're wanting to get going, and it takes you about 5 minutes to loosen up and get things going, sometimes the B5 will help with that. It sort of helps liquefy the acidity in the joints, and you're able to get flowing again. It's all about the flow, getting flow going. If you've got quite a bit of inflammation in your body, make sure your vitamin C levels are there. You might need to be taking a little bit of vitamin C every day. Check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but check with your doctor. If you're on some certain medications and you're not sure, run it by them. If you're getting too much vitamin C, quite often you end up going to the toilet more than you need to. So that's a sure sign you're getting too much. And calcium. Calcium's an interesting mineral as well. We need that. As you know, we have it in our bones. We actually have it surrounding our nervous system as well. It's not the only thing around the nerves, but calcium is really important. I know when I'm deficient in calcium because I get agitated at the little things. And the little things start annoying me, I know I'm calcium deficient. So I just supplement for a little while, and then everything's all good, and those little things don't annoy me. It's also if I'm tossing and turning, calcium's quite good for that in sleep. If you're dreaming a lot, then that's a sign of magnesium deficiency. So there's a couple of little tidbits there for you. So there's lots of things that you can do to help yourself bringing the stress level down. There's bark flowers, if you've ever heard of the bark flowers. There's New Zealand flowers, there's Australian flowers as well. But most people know about the bark flowers. That has the rescue remedy, or another name for it, 5 flowers. And actually I think they've been advertising it on TV lately, I've seen it, which is cool. And so that's natural, you can't get addicted to it, it's not going to affect your bowels, but it's just going to calm the system down. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it's going to help you come back down and be able to think logically about the situation, or if you need to change things or alter things, or let go of things. That bark flowers will just bring you down so that you can, it just takes that edge off, that stress level, and you can actually start seeing things correctly. There's lots of other wonderful things with the bark flowers, not just the rescue remedy. Sometimes I make up combinations for people in a bottle, and you can have like 7 different bark flowers in one bottle, and they're not dear. I think I charge $18 for a bottle and make it up for you. You can't get addicted to it. It's not going to interfere with your bowel motions. Doesn't generally interfere with medications either, but it just helps on those emotional levels. Like if your mind's going round and round in circles and you can't let go of something, the white chestnut's very good for allowing the mind to come back and be able to focus again. Or there might be a lot of changes going on in your life. Walnut's very good for all these changes that are happening, and you're finding it hard to keep up with that, and not another change. Then walnut could be quite good for that. There's olive for mental exhaustion, where your mind's just had enough and it's going round and round in circles, and this and that and everything, and you just want to pull your brain out, stick it in a jar for a while and just give yourself a break and then bring your brain back in. Olive is very good for that. And so there's all these ones in the bark flower range. There's ones for fear. So there's 2 for fear. I've been working with people for 26 years, and so you get to know lots of things and you see lots of things, and in this last 2 years I have never made up a bark flower with both of the fear ones, and so Mamulus and Aspen. And so one is for known fear and one is for the unknown fear. And 2 years ago, everybody knew what they were afraid of. It was either a fear that they knew about, afraid of the dark, or afraid of a dog barking. And then there was the fears of, I don't know if I'm going to get this job or not, or I don't know if this person's going to leave me. It was the unknown fear. And everybody would be able to, go one way or the other with it. In the last 2 years, I'm having to put both in the bark flower bottle for people to take, because we've got this double amount of fear going on. We know about certain fears, and then it's the unknown of what's going to happen in the world, or whether the virus is going to come here, or we're going to be shut down, or if we're going to get the bug and get the virus and it's going to annihilate our systems. So there's so much going on that we really need to back, stop, breathe, refocus, and come back. And sometimes we need things to help us to just rebalance ourselves and come back and have a smile on our face and go, yeah, it's going to be okay. Because I'm closer to 60 now than I am 50. I've never seen anything like this in our world, and I've talked to 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds, and they've never seen anything like this. You get some that have gone through different experiences in life, but a worldwide thing. Most people from World War I and II have passed on. They would be able to help us. I did have a lady say to me, it's going to be okay. We're all going to get through this, and when we look back in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, it's just going to be a blip in our history. And so I'll hold her to that. We hope it's going to be a blip in our history. And a bit like the Spanish flu, it was 3 years in the world, and so this will be 3 years as well. And it's surviving it, getting through it, and showing our children how to survive this well. Not to be crazy people, crazy person, and teach them how to handle stress. Stress can make your blood pressure go up. It can make your pulse rate go up. It can affect your digestion. So be aware of what's going on in your body, where you're holding your stress. It could be on the top of your shoulders, where we put the weight of the world on. It could be in our neck and our movement of the neck. It could be in the digestive system, and we just hold our stomach. And, and we're hardly even breathing, and we tense our stomach. And then when the stress goes, we relax, and then our stomach comes back to normal. But then if we get stress again quickly, boom, it can tighten up again. And then our food doesn't go through very well. And then we don't want to eat. Or it can go the other way, and it can go really fast. So there's so many variations of what stress looks like in your body. Your muscles could be really tight, and then you get cramps. So you could be experiencing things that you haven't experienced before, and it's because the body is trying to cope. The nervous system is trying to accommodate. So try and be nice to your body. I guess that's what the whole program is today about. Just be nice to yourself. Do things nice for your body. Give your brain a break. Don't listen to the news for a few days. Somebody will tell you if something serious is going on. Bound to. Turn the telly off for a while. Just watch comedies. Turn your phone off for a few hours and go for a walk so you have peace and quiet. Listen to some beautiful music, or read some poems. Read a book that you loved from years ago. Talk to parents or children, or go and feed ducks. Like I said, go and see a good movie at the movie theatre, or get your favourite takeaway and get your favourite book, or play cards with your partner, or there's so many things that you can do. But it's like just stopping and going, what else can I do besides having all this running around in my brain? Sometimes we have to focus, and we've got to get through a period, and then we can relax and calm down. So you have to make time to relax and calm down for a few days if you've been through quite a bit of stress for a few weeks or a week or a month. And then you've got to stop, because you do get used to chasing your tail at that speed. And if we don't force ourselves to stop and relax, we'll just look for the next thing, and we'll just keep going fast the whole time until our body forces us to stop. You don't want that. You don't want the body is forcing you to stop. Because as I said, stress will hit the body in different areas, and then you've got to find a way to come out. So pick yourself up before that happens and slow things down and play patience even. There's so many things. Get a cat or a dog to look after. If you've got a dog, you've got to go and walk it. So that's a good way of keeping yourself fit, getting fresh air, keeping an animal happy. Or a cat, allowing the cat to be on your knee and purring. Apparently that purring does wonders for us. I've got a 21-and-a-half-year-old cat. She's a very old lady. She's like 108 or something. She doesn't go far, she doesn't eat a lot, and she sleeps a lot. But she's still able to jump up on the couch and curl up on my lap and purr a little bit, and we have a pat and a cuddle, and I wonder if you're going to be here tomorrow. So she's of that age. And but I'm trying to make the most of it every day, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. So, appreciating everything you have now, because things can change. Things can change very easily. So as I said, I'm in Hastings and Waipakarau. I have a clinic in Hastings Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Waipakarau Monday and Friday. I work from about 9 till 6. And you can get appointments. And some of the treatments that I do are reflexology. That's very relaxing, and it's helping bring the body back into homeostasis, back into that balance. I do foot joint mobilization, which is what I'm specializing in, and that's working on the bone structure of the feet, realigning them, bringing them back into a more correct position. So like bunions, heel spurs, plantar fasciitis, crooked toes, twisted ankles, flat feet, all those sort of things. And if your feet aren't right, it's kind of like a builder will say to you, you've got to get the foundations right, got to get the foundations right. If the foundations aren't right, the walls will never be plumb. And it's the same with foot joint mobilization. If the feet aren't right, if one foot is flatter than the other, then you start tilting and you start getting imbalances through the rest of the body. So I get about 95% success with that, so you've got to be pretty unlucky for it not to work. I get a lot of wonderful experiences with people and getting them better and stronger and reversing things, and they're able to go out walking, they're able to bend down, get on their knees, they're able to, even a lady who was 60, she goes, I'm feeling so much better now, I feel like I can go back running. And she hadn't been running for about 5 years, so it's just wonderful to listen to people, how their bodies are starting to get stronger again and better. So I do a abdominal massage as well, called China Sang. Do you want me to say that one again? China Sang. So it's putting energy into the digestive tract. So it's working on the small intestines, large intestines, liver, kidneys, adrenals, pancreas, all those wonderful things there. And that also works with improving the circulation into the body as well. And I have a steam sauna machine with ozone. That's quite new in the world. And I also have a hydrogen machine. So pretty much I cover all bases, so even all the gases. So this steam sauna machine with the ozone, so it's called Oxy Detox. And if you want to have a look at it, I have a web page, www.comebewell.co.nz, and that is fantastic for bringing stress levels down. You're in there for 30 minutes and man, that just brings your stress level down about 3 pegs, I reckon, but you still have a spring in your step. You don't have to go home and have a sleep. It just starts improving, and it's getting more oxygen up into the head area so you can think better, untangling muscles, boosting the immune system. I enjoy getting in it. It helps me. If I've had a hard week, get in my machine and I'm ready for the weekend. Or if I've had a hard weekend in the garden or doing whatever, get in the machine and back up, I'm ready for work again. So that was an Oxy Detox, and the webpage was comebewell.co.nz. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.